Harry nearly broke down in tears in court today, weeping about Meghan Markle's misery. And he was told to stop arguing back by the judge. Well, Prince Harry was giving evidence in his privacy claim against the publisher of the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday in the High Court today.
Devastating moment for Prince Harry's reputation and credibility, as he argues with a judge while in the dock, contradicts himself, appears to fib about using the pseudonym Mr. Mischief.
Harry broke down in big boy tears as he gave some testimony today in his lawsuit against the Daily Mail, claiming that
a British prince just walked into court and went back and forth with a judge, not once, not twice, but 3 times in one single day. And while all that chaos is unfolding, his legal team is reportedly stepping away, and his wife is 5,000 miles away, casually posting on Instagram like nothing's happening. This is the moment Prince Harry's court case completely spun out of control.
Harry reveals more than he thinks he did, because he's of course trying to pull out the heartstrings about his wife, who honestly, I feel like the judge should have told him straight to his face, your wife's feelings have no bearing on this trial whatsoever, Harry. This is about Chelsea, Cressida, your former girlfriend, you know? But he has to bring up his wife. I'm sure that's what his lawyer was doing. But I honestly have absolutely zero sympathy for him and his wife in this instance. If they had been quiet and dignified, would I have some more sympathy?
Right in front of the public. And trust me, it gets way messier than anyone expected. Here's how it all started. On January 22nd, 2026, Harry entered London's High Court, thinking this would be his big moment to clear his name. He's taking on Associated Newspapers Limited, the company behind the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday, over claims of unlawful information gathering and phone access. The situation goes all the way back to 2001 through 2013, and the pressure is huge. This case is reportedly worth around $38 million.
Terry, right before we got on here, we also found out he's on the stand today in London. He's in court. I feel like every time we come on here, Prince Harry's in court. He doesn't look great in the court sketch, I'm going to be honest.
Harry is also leading a group of 7 high-profile figures, including Elton John and Elizabeth Hurley. This was supposed to be his ultimate face-off with the tabloid world, his moment to stand tall. But once he took the stand, everything started falling apart fast.
Well, as we all know, Prince Harry is in the UK. He is testifying around this case that he has against the Associated News.
And what happened next shocked everyone. Picture this. Harry is sitting in the witness box and things go sideways fast. The lawyer for the Daily Mail, Anthony White, starts asking questions. And within minutes, Harry isn't just...
Evidence came forward a day. So Harry originally wasn't meant to be giving evidence until tomorrow. Now, I think it scrambled him a bit. He seemed uneasy from the moment he arrived. He didn't really settle properly in the witness box. And he came in and Anthony White very cleverly, immediately got him onto this thing of being part of the institution. And right from the off, Harry was on the defensive and very bristly and very abrasive. And the judge intervened 3 times to try and calm him down. I mean, the first time, which was the one that you showed there, he was actually quite sympathetic and he was quite like, look.
Answering, he's talking back, debating, and getting visibly defensive. The tension jumps so high that the judge has to step in almost immediately. And this wasn't some tiny interruption. The judge, Matthew Nicklin, a seasoned media law expert, had to intervene 3 separate times just to get Harry to slow it down and stop arguing. The first time, the judge was actually calm and understanding.
Arrogant and pig-headed Harry started arguing with the judge. This was just part of their exchange.
He said, and this stays exactly as stated. This is a big moment. You're doing exactly what lots of litigants do. You tend to argue back about what he's putting to you. You don't have to bear the burden of arguing the case today. That's for Mr. Sherborne. That was the judge clearly telling Harry, answer the questions. Let your lawyer handle the strategy. Simple. That's literally what the legal team is there for.
Everything going on with Harry today, feel like it's a need to talk about his big boy man tears. He's so emotional, guys. His poor wife. She lives in misery in her $16 million mansion with her 4.4 million followers on Instagram, her Netflix deal, her show on Netflix, all these sorts of things. And she's so miserable.
But Harry didn't adjust. He just kept pushing anyway. The second interruption came fast, and you could feel the judge's patience thinning.
This is my job. I understand that this is a big moment for you, but you're making a mistake that a lot of people make. Let me just tell you, your job now is just to answer these questions. Let your legal team answer the case. And Harry seemed to kind of go, okay, my lord, yeah, whatever. Then he carried on, then he did it again, and then he did it a third time, and it was really bad the third time. So
by the third time, things turned firm because Harry started debating what qualifies as a journalistic source. That's when the judge shut it down and made it crystal.
You're crying on the stand. In life, we don't always get what we want, right? We want friends, okay? We've all been in that situation. We want a friend, a loved one, a relative to take accountability, to apologize. It doesn't happen, okay? You're expecting a big newspaper conglomerate to come crawling to you to apologize. It's not gonna happen. You can either move on with your life.
Clear. He knows this field inside and out because this is his job. And let that sink in for a second. A prince seriously arguing with a high court judge about the judge's own area of expertise. Inside the judge's own courtroom. Wild. Here's why this moment matters so much. This is not a jury case. There's no crowd to win over, no dramatic performance needed. The same Judge Harry challenged 3 times is the one person who decides how this case ends. That's it. That's the whole situation right there. And Harry couldn't keep his...
Prince Harry is apparently crying on the stand and saying this. This is a direct quote we have from the New York Post. They've made my wife's life an absolute misery. I think it is fundamentally wrong to have to put all of us through this again when all we were asking for is an apology.
Cool for even a single morning session. One legal analyst sitting inside the courtroom said Harry looked shaken, uneasy, and like he never fully settled into the witness box at all. And here's a key move that caught him off guard. The Daily Mail's legal team pulled a last-minute switch the day before. They compressed their opening arguments from a day and a half down to just 90 minutes, which pushed Harry's testimony forward by an entire day. He clearly wasn't ready, and it showed. Then things turned emotional and honestly confusing. At one point during testimony, Harry's voice reportedly started cracking. He appeared visibly...
I think part of him is happy to be there because he misses the British culture and he hates being at the house with Meghan. I think Prince Harry would rather travel to London to sit in a courthouse than be stuck in the asylum with her in Montecito. Okay, I just think that's the truth. And then some other bad news in Harry and Meghan world, their show has been canceled. Season 3 of With Love, Meghan has been canceled by Netflix. They won't be doing any more, which I'm not shocked because nobody was watching it, okay? That show is like number 5,206 on the Netflix charts. So Harry and Meghan, I think they're done. Okay, Harry and Meghan, if I were you guys, your show's been canceled. You're not going to be the next Martha Stewart, Meghan. I mean, the fact that Meghan Markle had a cooking show and she moved pretzels from one bag into another was crazy.
Overwhelmed, and said this direct quote from court, unchanged. They have made my wife's life an absolute misery. I think it is fundamentally wrong to have to put all of us through this again, when all we were asking for is an apology and some accountability. Now, that sounds sympathetic at first, right? Until you remember one critical detail. This case focuses on alleged phone access and information gathering that dates back to 2001 through 2013. Here's where things stop making sense at all. Harry didn't even meet Meghan Markle until 2016. She has nothing to do with the 14 articles he's upset about in this case. Zero connection. She wasn't involved. She wasn't around. She wasn't even part of his life back then. So why bring her up? Why turn this into an emotional moment about his wife in a case that clearly has nothing to do with her? And here's the part people really clocked. While Harry is standing alone in a London courtroom, no support beside him, no familiar face in the gallery, Meghan is back in Montecito, California. According to reports, she was posting on Instagram that same week, sharing clips of their home, the pool, the whole lifestyle.
When you look at him bringing up Meghan in this moment about what happened in the past, for me, it looks like he is trying to do what happened in the past because of what happened to Meghan in the present. But if it is about what happened to Meghan in the present, then why not bring a lawsuit about what happened to Meghan in the present? You know why he won't do that? Because, first of all, there's not other people that he can come in with this same lawsuit to strengthen his case like he has with the other people that are in on this court case, all these other people. It's just him and his life with this woman. But also, Meghan's life that she lived in the UK was not even affected.
The comment sections went wild. One person wrote, "Why is he even mentioning her? She's nothing to do with the case and the years that these claims were about." Another said, "Meghan is 5,000 miles away posting on social media while Harry falls apart in court."
Justification for a lawsuit. It is all caught up on an emotional high, emotional roller coaster of, having to work with the press, having to then be, part of the press's news gathering, story making arm. And there's no real balance between the two. But at the same time, that's just the life you get. It's a quid pro quo. You get this luxurious life. You're born into privilege. Things you never had to work for, but the compromise to all of that is that now you have to put up with things in the press that probably do make your life miserable.
The optics? Absolutely brutal. They've built their image around being a united front, us against the world. But when Harry calls this his most important legal fight, he's standing there solo. And trust me, people noticed, and they noticed hard. Harry stood in that courtroom and pushed back hard on the media, saying they turned his private life into a product. He said, direct quote, "I've never believed that my life is open season to be commercialized by these people." Let that sit for a second, because the contrast here is wild. This is the same man who released a 400-page tell-all memoir, Spare, where he laid out deeply personal details about his own family. He shared private conversations, personal messages between his wife and Catherine, and family tensions involving Prince William, all straight from behind closed doors. He also spoke openly about intimate life experiences, past struggles, and moments that most...
So this is mostly over his time with Chelsea Davy. Not Meghan Markle, Chelsea Davy, the woman who I think honestly probably truly loved Harry for Harry. And I don't think she was all that interested in royalty, the royal trappings, in the money or the fame, anything like that. She is not interested in that. She's proven that over her years since. Meghan Markle, meanwhile, was absolutely attracted not to him, but to what he could give her. So let's keep going. So there was a moment he took the oath, and Harry says, "For the avoidance of doubt, I'm not friends with any of these journalists and never have been. My social circles were not leaky. I want to make that absolutely clear." Oh, Harry. Poor Harry. They were. It's crazy to think they weren't. And it might not be that, let's say, they were consistently leaking, but there might have been some people who are like, yeah, I need an extra 100 pounds and maybe they'll pay me for info.
People would never dream of putting on display. Then came a multi-million-dollar streaming series where cameras followed him and Meghan around, airing their personal challenges to the world. And let's not forget the primetime sit-down with Oprah Winfrey, watched by tens of millions globally, where extremely private family matters were discussed on air. So now, seeing him...
You are going to just keep looking in that rearview mirror and try to get some justice about what happened to you with the ex-girlfriend, and you're married now to another woman with a child, but this is so important that you feel that you need to make a big hoopla out of this. Something does not sit right with me. It doesn't make sense. But let's just look at what happened today, Wednesday, with Harry's court case. He was very emotional as he
stand in court saying the media has no right to profit from his life. That contradiction didn't go unnoticed. One comment that racked up over 1,200 likes summed it up perfectly. People watching didn't hold back at all. One comment said it flat out. If Harry really wanted privacy, he never would have released Spare. Another added, "You can't sell your own story, then turn around and complain about media intrusion." That contradiction was loud. The judge saw it, the lawyers saw it, and everyone following this case saw it too. Harry seems to want it both ways. He wants to make serious money telling his story on his own terms, but doesn't want anyone else touching it. That double standard.
Yes, Harry. Keep crying. Keep trying to make this make sense. Because what I say is you married a woman who wants to be in the newspapers. That's also a different video. But do you see how complicated this is for Harry? Do you think he's understanding that his wife is not Chelsea Davy, the one that wanted nothing to do with the press? His wife is the
standard stood out big time. And then there's Chelsea Davy. Remember her? Harry dated her for years before they split in 2010. She's long moved on, married.
When you married, that is definitely trying to do a dance with the devil in the media. Because don't get it twisted, people. The conflict is really between Meghan and Harry.
Raising kids, running a successful jewelry brand, and living a calm, low-key life, far away from all this noise. But suddenly, her name is pulled back into the courtroom. Several articles in Harry's case revolve around her, and he spoke about how the press affected her life back then. He even revealed he called her the night before testifying to revisit old events. People couldn't believe it. She stepped away from this spotlight years ago, and now she's getting dragged back in because of his lawsuit. One comment even said she should shut it down and stop her name from being used at all.
Trial is still ongoing, and Associated Newspapers, the publisher of the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday, deny all the claims. But do you have sympathy for Harry, or in that case, Howie, or not? Let's get the thoughts of my panel. The Director of Popular Conservatives, Mark Littlewood, pub landlord and activist Adam Brooks, and journalist and broadcaster Nina Mishkov. Right, OK, so Mark, where are you on this saga? You know, Prince Harry, of course, desperate for privacy, decided to continue to pursue a court case.
Yeah, limited sympathy. I mean, I think on a human level, you've got to recognise he's gone through a lot of trauma. He can't cope with all of this. It's a nightmare for him. So on a human level, a modicum of sympathy. But I think he's doing himself absolutely no favours here. I'm afraid part and parcel of being a member of the royal family is that there is intense media interest in you. That's the bad luck of the draw when you've won the lottery on the other side of the draw, because you're obviously made for life if you're born into the royal family.
And here's what made this whole thing even more uncomfortable. The way Harry talked about Chelsea in court felt loaded, heavy emotion, regret, real what could have been energy, and all of that, while his current wife is back in California, posting on Instagram like it's business as usual. People picked up on that contrast instantly. Then the Daily Mail's lawyers dropped another twist. They brought up a so-called Mr. Mischief Facebook account, claiming Harry used it as a nickname to message journalists directly. One of those journalists was Charlotte.
The judge said he may be forced to take a very unorthodox approach of allowing the court to know his location, but not the parties. Otherwise, he asked whether solicitors and counsel could be made aware of his whereabouts on the basis that they must not share it more widely. Mr. Poole said his client was considering his position. The Associated Newspapers is a subsidiary of the Daily Mail and General Trust, Lord Rothermore's holding company, which has agreed to acquire the Telegraph for $500 million. Proposed takeover expected to face regulatory scrutiny in the coming weeks. I actually did not know that piece of information. That is very interesting.
Griffiths from the Mail on Sunday. Harry denied it, but the lawyers hinted they've got proof to back it up. And then came another shocker. One of the reporters Harry is accusing, Katie Nichol, pushed back through legal channels. She said Harry personally invited her to hang out with him at Kensington Roof Gardens back in 2011. That flips the whole story on its head. Instead of enemies, it suggests they were moving in the same circles, friendly when it suited him. That seriously weakens the idea that he was always being targeted. And now comes the really serious part. Reports say key members of Harry's legal team have either stepped down or are thinking about walking away completely. That's when you know things are getting real messy. And somehow, this part made everything even more uncomfortable. The way Harry spoke about Chelsea Davy in court stood out. Real emotion, visible regret, serious what might have been energy. All of that while his current wife is back in California, active on Instagram like it's a regular week. People caught that contrast instantly. Then the Daily Mail's lawyers added another twist. They brought up a Facebook account called Mr. Mischief, claiming Harry used it as a pseudonym to contact journalists directly. One of those names was Charlotte Griffiths from the Mail on Sunday. Harry denied it, but the lawyers hinted they've got solid proof. And then came a major moment. One journalist Harry is accusing, Katie Nichol, responded through lawyers saying no. Harry personally invited her to socialize with him at Kensington Roof Gardens back in 2011. That changes everything. It suggests they weren't enemies at all. They were in the same circles and on friendly terms when it benefited him. That seriously undercuts the idea he was always being targeted. And now things get heavy. Reports say key members of Harry's legal team have already stepped away or are seriously thinking about it. That's when you know this case is spiraling fast. So let's zoom out for a second, because this is where the bigger picture really hits. Prince Harry is stuck between two worlds, and neither one is working anymore. The first is the royal world he was born into, the system that protected him, smoothed things over, and gave him non-stop advantages. He chose to walk away from that, burned those bridges publicly, and put it all in writing. There's no easy return path there anymore. Then there's the new life he tried to build in California, and that's looking shaky too. The Netflix project didn't last, the Spotify deal fell apart, and the so-called impact projects barely get noticed. Even Meghan's lifestyle content failed to connect the way they hoped. The brand momentum, gone. This lawsuit was supposed to fix everything, but instead, Harry argued with a judge 3 times in one day. Reports say parts of his legal team are stepping away, the evidence isn't lining up, and past statements are coming back to haunt him. And the person he says this fight is all about? She wasn't even there. Honestly, the comment section tells the whole story. The comment section didn't miss at all. One person said he's his own worst enemy and completely disconnected from reality. Another wrote, "Court is for facts, not feelings." And the line people couldn't stop liking? If he hates the press so much, maybe he and his wife should stop calling them. That one hit hard. Here's the brutal reality. Harry wanted to come off as a fighter for fairness, standing up to powerful media forces. Instead, he ended up looking entitled, inconsistent, and unable to handle pushback. He wants to profit off his own story, but doesn't want anyone else touching it, even when it's public record. The judge saw through it, the lawyers saw through it, and the public, they definitely saw through it. The only person who doesn't seem to get it is Harry himself. And honestly, that might be the most telling part of all. Now, I want to hear from you. Is Harry right to go after the tabloids? Or is this one of the biggest double standards we've seen play out in public? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, share this video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next one.